Every now and then, nature hits the randomizer and gives us something truly wild. Pure white versions of animals you'd never expect. These are 15 of the rarest true albino animals on Earth. The albino peacock. Most peacocks strut around flashing those blue and green feathers like disco balls. But an albino peacock, that's a living ghost. Without any pigment, every feather turns pure white, catching the light like silk. They don't have the colourful eye spots, but they still fan out their tails to show off. The contrast of that snow-white plumage against the green grass is unreal, like something out of a fantasy film. Albino peacocks are incredibly rare, and in the wild, they're almost invisible at night, but stand out like a spotlight in the day. Not great for hiding from predators. The albino alligator. If you ever see an albino alligator, you're looking at one of the rarest reptiles on the planet. There are fewer than 100 known worldwide. Their white scales and pinkish eyes make them look almost fake, like animatronics come to life. But life's tough for them. With zero camouflage, they're easy targets as babies. The few that survive end up in zoos or aquariums, where they can live over 60 years. They're living proof that even the swamp can produce something that looks straight out of mythology. The albino kangaroo. Australia already has some mad animals, but an albino kangaroo looks like a ghost hopping through the outback. Their red eyes and white fur stand out against the orange desert, not ideal when dingoes are about. Albino joeys are often smaller and more sensitive to sunlight, but they can live surprisingly long lives in shaded habitats. Indigenous stories even mentioned spirit kangaroos, likely sightings of these rare pale hoppers centuries ago. The albino squirrel. In a world full of grey and red squirrels, spotting a white one feels like finding a glitch in the matrix. True albino squirrels have red eyes and no pigment anywhere. They're rare, but not unheard of. Maybe 1 in 100,000. They've even got fan clubs in certain towns where locals leave food out just for them. Some people think they bring good luck, but mostly they're just squirrels who forgot to hit colour on. The albino penguin. Penguins are built for the cold, but albino penguins are almost too white for their own good. Their lack of pigment can affect eyesight, making survival in the wild tough. Most albino penguins are discovered in Antarctica or sub-Antarctic islands, pure white against a field of snow, blending in perfectly from above but not from below, where leopard seals hunt. They're the ultimate stealth bird for a very specific angle, the albino snake. Most people run from snakes, but an albino one, it's hard to look away. Albino pythons, cobras, and even rattlesnakes have been recorded, white, cream, or yellowish with eerie red eyes. The lack of melanin makes their scales almost translucent. Despite their fragile appearance, they're just as dangerous. The problem is, they don't blend in, so in the wild, they rarely make it to adulthood. But in captivity, they've become collective favourites. Nature's accidental masterpiece, the albino elephant. You'd think an animal that size couldn't get more noticeable, but an albino elephant looks almost mystical. Their pale skin often appears pinkish, with light hair and sensitive eyes. In some parts of Asia, they're considered sacred, symbols of power, peace, and good fortune. Kings in Thailand once kept them as royal treasures. But the truth is, albinism makes their skin more vulnerable to sunlight and insect bites, so even royalty couldn't protect them from nature's harsh side. The albino humpback whale. Out in the deep blue, there's one legendary ghost, Migaloo, the albino humpback whale. First spotted off Australia's coast in 1991, Migaloo became world famous for his pure white appearance. Scientists believe he's one of only a handful ever recorded. Seeing him breach against the dark sea is like watching a cloud leap from the water. Every time he's sighted, the internet goes mad. He's living proof that even giants can be one of a kind. The albino bat. Bats are already mysterious, but an albino bat looks like something from a Gothic painting. The lack of pigment makes their skin and wings ghostly pink, and their red eyes shine under light. In some cultures, they're seen as omens of death, but in reality, they're just rare genetic flukes. Unfortunately, their poor eyesight and high visibility make them easy prey. Still, a few colonies have been recorded surviving in deep caves where sunlight never reaches. The albino deer. A flash of white in the woods doesn't always mean snow. Sometimes it's an albino deer. Hunters used to think they were spirits or bad omens, and many refused to shoot them. Others saw them as sacred. Albino deer are completely white with pink noses and eyes, and their visibility means they don't last long in the wild. But in protected parks, they become local legends, living myths in real time. The albino gorilla. This one deserves legend status. There's only ever been one confirmed albino gorilla, Snowflake from Equatorial Guinea. Captured in 1966 and brought to the Barcelona Zoo, he lived to the age of 40, a global icon. His pale skin, white hair, and pink eyes made him the only one of his kind ever seen. Genetic testing showed his albinism came from inbreeding, but Snowflake didn't just survive. He thrived, fathering over 20 offspring. None were albino, but his legacy as the only white gorilla in history still stands. The albino tiger. True albino tigers are almost unheard of. Most of the white tigers you see are leucistic, meaning they still have pigment in their stripes and eyes. A true albino tiger would have pure white fur, pink eyes, and zero markings. Only a few suspected cases exist, and none have been proven beyond doubt. Imagine a 500-pound predator glowing white in the jungle, terrifying and beautiful in equal measure. The albino moose. In the snowy forests of Canada and Scandinavia, the sight of a white moose has sparked folklore for centuries. True albino moose are extremely rare. Most white moose are leucistic, still showing some pigment. But when a genuine albino shows up, they become instant celebrities. Some regions even make it illegal to hunt them. They're seen as symbols of purity, nature's accidental guardians of the forest. The albino turtle. Albino turtles look like golden ornaments brought to life. Depending on the species, their shells can range from white to a glowing yellow-orange due to light reflecting through their blood vessels. They're fragile creatures, often born with poor eyesight and sun sensitivity, yet a few make it to adulthood, turning up in sanctuaries or aquariums where they shine like living jewels. From ghostly whales to glowing reptiles, true albino animals show just how unpredictable nature really is. It's not about perfection. It's about survival against the odds. Every one of these creatures is a living reminder that rare doesn't always mean weak. Sometimes it just means remarkable. From ghostly whales to glowing reptiles, true albino animals show just how unpredictable nature really is. It's not about perfection. It's about survival against the odds. Every one of these creatures is a living reminder that rare doesn't always mean weak. Sometimes it just means remarkable.